mix and minimize again over there. Are we good? Are we talking to the world? The whole world? Does this signal get all the way to Canada? I'm serious. I mean, really. Do they let it across the border? Who's that weird guy peeping in here?
We're like Abbott and Costello, except those guys, both of them were funny.
Hi, this is Tom Burke, and I'm bringing you a special presentation from 2020 Technologies. We're on the floor of the International Woodworking Fair in Atlanta, Georgia. I have with me the famous or the infamous Bob Law. Good morning, Bob.
How you doing, Tom?
I'm very good, especially since I'm going to skewer you during this interview. Are you prepared?
I'm definitely prepared. I'm a little worn out. It's been a long show.
The first question I want to ask you is, where did you go last night and what time did you get to bed?
I was behaved as always. Dinner early. I was in bed by 9. I'm tired. I'm tired, man.
Okay, let's get serious. The first thing I want to talk about, is you came to us all the way from Toronto, correct?
Yeah, close to it. Southern Ontario.
Okay. And tell me about the company you work with, the CNC Automation.
CNC Automation, we've been in the Canadian market for a little over 20 years. We basically provide service, full solutions to the entire secondary wood processing industry, and we're dipping our toe into the primary industry right now as we speak.
And what is the relationship between CNC Automation and Thermwood Corporation?
Thermwood's been our primary line that we built the business up on over the last 20 years or so. It's with Thermwood that we introduced nested-based manufacturing to the Canadian machinery industry and the woodworking industry. About 8-9 years ago is when we started to ramp that up, and the beginning it was a tough sell. Everybody had beam saws and point-to-points, and now all the companies out there that said that nesting was stupid all have a competitive machine, and they say they do it better. So I don't know. I think we did something right.
Okay. Bob is not shy with his opinions. Let's get that straight. I believe CNC Automation is what we call a full-service organization. So that means not only machines, but tooling, training.
Yeah, we do the whole package. We try to leave no stone unturned, no extra costs, a full solution package for basically whatever we do. We want a customer when they rely on us to get them up and running. We want to make sure they have everything they need there. There's no second guessing, and there's only one finger to point at when anything goes wrong, and that's us. Because then we have full control. We can react. We can take care of it. And we're at nobody else's mercy.
Okay, let's switch a little bit. I see a guy out there in the audience. I understand that not only does he provide software, but he gives it away.
Yeah. The Big Dan, our vice president of marketing, or general manager. Yeah, eCabinet Systems. We have a software that Thermwood produces that comes with the machine that gets you up and going as far as manufacturing. The big issue and the biggest reason why we've worked so hard to make things work with 2020 and further our relationship and partnership with you guys is that you dominate the industry. So there's no sense butting heads trying to do what you guys already do well as far as design and all the other stuff. And 2020s came in with their manufacturing software, which you guys took your time and did it right. And it works seamlessly with our equipment, just like our own software does. So, with your dominance in the design industry, it was an absolute no-brainer when the manufacturing stuff came into place and really started to work well to bring you guys in the loop as a partner and promote your product.
So, can you explain to me that if I were new, there's some folks right around the corner there who are thinking about getting into CNC and they're looking seriously at a Thermwood machine. What kind of advice do you give them relative to e-cabinets and in 2020?
Well, it depends on obviously if you have to ease in and the investment size is an issue. you can start to produce and with e-cabinets and you know, start letting the machine pay for itself and expand to the point where you're going to need a 2020 for the front end to tie it in with the back end, and you end up eliminating a step in the end. But not everybody can do that right off the kick. Software sometimes is a deterrent for people because it is an expense, but in the end, when everything's all tied together, software makes you money. It saves you front-end employees when you don't have to count hinges, when you don't have to, you know, roughly sketch up what material you have to buy that could chew all your time up. The whole manufacturing, the whole 2020 design and tracking software looks after all that stuff. That's stuff that we don't do well. We can machine cabinets without a problem, but it gets to the point as you grow that you need everything.
Okay, that's great. I want to talk a little bit about the basis of our relationship and where our companies have similarities. I think your company has a reputation of, let's just say, going the extra mile.
Yeah, for sure. You know, to be honest with you, if we do everything right and you're happy, our customers talk about us like family, and it makes it a lot easier to sell. And in the end, that's what we're here for. Is we're here to sell machines, and if we make you money, generally you come spend more with us, and that's what allows us to grow.
Okay. So we've got the competitive software problem out of the way. Actually, that seems to work pretty neat. The folks who just came in and are today looking at our AutoCAD-based solution, Shopware CAD, tell me that even though they don't have a CNC, they've begun by working with e-cabinets. And that's kind of a cool, put a toe in the water kind of concept.
Yeah, sure. There's a lot of people out there that know how to work Windows and whatever else, and they're cabinet makers. But, you know, to take that leap when you've never used a software or a cabinet software or anything else to go out and spend the money that it takes to get a full solution, sometimes it deters people because they don't know what it's going to do for them. With our software, it's free. They can get in the door. They can get used to it, understand the concept, see what the value is to their company, and then they can go out and get a full package to track everything in their business from you guys, and it basically it kind of gives them that step, that push to make them realize what it can do for them.
You know, the theme that I've been pushing is called the power of partnerships, the ability for vendors such as machinery vendors or tooling vendors and software vendors to get together to test their solutions so that the customer has the very best experience when they finally decide to make a purchase. Do you feel good about recommending 2020 with your machines?
Absolutely. Like I said, we've started nesting long before anybody else did. We had our solutions. We did our thing. Your company is the only company that really, us being the leader, the only company out there that said we want to get involved with you guys, and have had your people in our facility working with our software people, testing, working out bugs, making sure that when we did launch it together, and we have a number of installations now, that it was basically a turnkey. It was just as easy as what we've been doing for years on our side together. And yeah, it's been fantastic, and I got about another 50 years to work in this industry, so I wouldn't promote anybody else if I felt that they'd affect my reputation personally in any way, and I have no qualms whatsoever.
I appreciate those comments. I want to talk a little bit about the way we work. It's rather unique. The controller on a Thermwood machine is so different. We're at the show, and there must be 12 or 14 machines available on the show floor. I think that none of them work the way Thermwood does. Can you tell our audience about it?
Yeah, for sure. We're constantly trying to figure out ways to take more manual operations out of a cabinet shop and put it through the machine. So we build our own control as opposed to a generic control which most people use. When you look at machines to machines, they all have the same kind of motors, same kind of drives. They're metal and wire, but the big difference that separates a CNC machine is its controller, and we make our own control. They don't become obsolete. The oldest one we still service in Canada is a 1982 that we still stock parts for, we still repair, and it's still running to this day. And the big reason why we make our own control is because we can add features like our machine. We could load your software, and we do the nesting at the machine instead of the office. So if a part gets damaged, we can go back in, load the entire job, turn off the rest of the parts, and recut one part without having to backtrack and back through the plant. Since we nest on the machine, the control does the nesting. The controller remembers the exact geometry of your offcuts. That at the end of the job, you have offcuts left. It remembers the same shape. We'll print out a barcode that basically tracks that, and I could again load up a whole 2020 job, scan in all my scrap of a particular material. It'll fit as many parts into that as it can, then move on to full sheets. So, in the grand scheme of things, there's machines that are more expensive, they're cheaper, but if you're saving another 10 or 15% on your material every single year, the machine's pretty much free. If you break it down to that point, it is that simple.
I must say that the ability to make those decisions at the machine, at the controller level, is pretty unique. And I've got to say that I've done some walking around the show. All those people who are viewing us from home are probably regretting now that they didn't spend the money to fly down to Atlanta, because pretty impressive show, and attendance is actually pretty good, and people are getting a lot of quality attention, don't you think?
Oh, definitely. There was a lot more people here than I expected, especially Canadians. There was a lot of Canadians down here, so I don't think I've stopped talking for about 4 straight days. And the only thing, the best thing is they don't pay me by the word, so the boss gets a little bit of a break. But no, it's been really good. It's going to be a springboard for us as a company for the next few months with the new business and relationships we've generated here during the show. And that's why us as a company, CNC and Thermwood and Gibbon and all of our other suppliers, they're all here. And we see the trade shows as the place to come where you can see everything, not a regional show at somebody's facility where you get to see that and that's it. Here we're all on the same level, same playing field. You can see the difference between brand A and brand B, and the same with software. You guys are right here, right across is your main competitor. Somebody can come and get a demonstration there. They can get a demonstration here, and they can see the difference. And when you're doing a WebEx demo online here or there or whatever else, it's a totally different experience than when you're here with all the people. You got your shopware CAD specialists here. You have your support specialists here. You have your design specialists here, and they can see the whole thing and all the people, meet all the people that are going to walk them through the entire process of implementing your system and our system or whatever into their shop, where you can't do that when you're just talking to a sales rep or a manager and a sales rep, or go to an open house that for a distributor that generally sells the stuff and they're not the specialists. You're here with the manufacturers and you see all the capability of the equipment.
Maybe the last question. I think it's over a year ago that you first saw Shopware CAD, our AutoCAD-based custom engineering application. Give me your impressions.
I love it. I was being an old product engineer in a furniture factory and knowing AutoCAD and being out with all these customers, the millwork, architectural millwork companies, pretty much anybody in an engineering department across North America has used AutoCAD. And everybody who designs kitchens, 80% of them, I think you guys probably have an 80% market share that design kitchens, use 2020 design. So as far as training, integration, generally people are on staff are already semi-familiar with the two products. And if not, it's pretty easy to bring somebody in that does know your product and AutoCAD and they can tie it all together. The parametric aspect, to be able to create stuff in AutoCAD and 3D, import it into the 2020 design is really seamless. All the hardware aspects really make it slick.
Well, it's pretty obvious to me that lack of sleep has not hurt your ability to generate words.
No, I've never been accused of being quiet, that's for sure.
Well, I want you to know this is our last live broadcast from IWF, and I want you to know that I really appreciate your coming over here. You're a truly knowledgeable person. I know that there's some suspicion out there about salespeople, but when you run into someone who is knowledgeable not only about the product they're selling, but the industry they're selling into, and they talk, they're not talking down. It's a real pleasure. It's a breath of fresh air, and we enjoy working with you and with CNC Automation and with Thermwood. Thanks a lot.
Thanks very much, Tom. It was a pleasure, and I appreciate the opportunity to spend the time with you guys here. And 2020 being a leader like you are, I really look at it as an honor that you asked me to do this segment during the show. And again, www.cncautomation.com, 1-800-421-5955. Thanks.
Thanks a lot.